morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is just an update on what our comrade, blessed Geza, is up to. Today, he has come back pointing the finger at Mnangagwa. Let's get this very clear. No one is disputing that Mnangagwa is a dictator. What people like myself and others are saying to Comrade Geza and his war veteran friends is that you are the one who imposed Mnangagwa and before him imposed Mugabe on the nation. Because as war veterans, you believed you have the veto on who rules the country. In fact, if the truth has got to be said, Mugabe brainwashed many of the war veterans to believe that they have the veto on who governs the country. Whenever ZANU-PF felt its position, its hold on power threatened, it was very quick to run to the war veterans, bribe them, and then convince them that whoever is threatening was threatening the independence of the country, the very thing they died for, they fought and risked their lives for. And therefore, then they must rally behind ZANU-PF. Of course, that was nonsense. Zimbabwe is not the only country that has had to fight for its independence. And yet, many other countries, many such countries have been able to transition from fighting for independence to a truly independent and democratic system of government, where everyone's freedom and rights were respected. Because it's common sense. What were you fighting for? If not that all Zimbabweans should enjoy freedom, liberty, and have a meaningful share of the country's resources, a meaningful say in the governance of the country. And that is at the heart of the problem in Zimbabwe. We have got a political system that says when push comes to shove, those who fought in the liberation war are first-class citizens. They have the veto on who rules the country. I think many of the war veterans believed that they would also have the lion's share of the country's wealth. And they've been disillusioned again and again and again throughout the 45 years. The war veterans rose up against Mugabe because they felt they were being left out. We fought in the war of liberation, and look at us, we are still as poor as a church mouse. Then they booted Mugabe out, convinced that Mnangagwa will do better. Alas, many hundreds of thousands of war veterans are still living in abject poverty today And hence the reason why Comrade Geza and some of the war veterans are up in arms. What is disappointing here is that they still believe they, the war veterans, have the veto on who rules Zimbabwe. They want to impose Chiwenga. This is not solving anything. This is just kicking the can down the road. We already know that Chiwenga is corrupt, incompetent, and has been part and parcel of the ZANU-PF dictatorship. The issue here is not trying to dictate to people like Geza who they should vote for. They should be free to vote for whoever they like. The issue is that the war veterans should not see themselves as the only ones who have the veto on who governs Zimbabwe. That is at the heart of our problem. We have a dictatorship that has been created, sustained on this false ethos that war veterans have the veto on who governs. ZANU-PF has never allowed the ordinary Zimbabweans to have a meaningful say in the governance of the country. That is the problem. And we want to solve that problem. We are not interested in the factional wars in ZANU-PF. Even if Mnangagwa was to have his wish and change the constitution, if we focus on dismantling the dictatorship, and we do succeed in dismantling the dictatorship, that amendment will be thrown out because it's contrary to what we are fighting for. Whereas stopping Mnangagwa amending the constitution, and at the end of the day, we find ourselves with another dictator imposed on us, it's not going to change anything. Just as removing Mugabe and replacing Mnangagwa did not change anything. As much as people thought that removing Mugabe would be the solution, it wasn't the solution. The dictatorship remained intact. So the focus here is not that Mnangagwa is a dictator. We know that. It's not that Mnangagwa is trying to extend his stay in power. We know that too. The focus is the dictatorship itself. Stopping Mnangagwa amending the constitution is good, but it's not good enough. In fact, it's an empty victory. If at the end of the day, we still have the dictatorship, we still have those war veterans who believe that they have got the veto on who should rule the country. Let's solve the problem and not just kick the can down the road. For those of you who have not listened to what Comrade Geza has to say, the latest one, I'll just play it for your update.
Because he is one of them. Christopher Mchangwa, my friend, we seek to appeal to your conscience. You have been our brother. We have stood together. But your statement, although half-hearted, was just a pity. How do you defend a person who arrested your son like a common criminal over things that his children do daily? While your son was being held in remand prison on charges of selling, this rogue president was giving Shigananda a license without even consulting Potras. Is that a president you want? Mnangagwa, the people of Zimbabwe are charging you with the following. 1, presiding over a failed state, a nation that has failed its people. 50% of Zimbabweans are in poverty, while over 80% are jobless. You and your government has no plan whatsoever to correct these mistakes and failures. 2, constitutional abuse of office. You have captured the judiciary for personal gains, firing judges willy-nilly, and issuing stress when judgments don't conform to what you want.
We are not going to listen to that list, because I think the obvious question is, these things have been going on for the last 45 years. People like him, Geza has been ZANU-PF in the ZANU-PF Central Committee. He has even been an MP, and has never flagged these issues until now, because at the present moment he is feeling aggrieved as one of those war veterans who feel they are poor. They have not had the lion's share of the nation's wealth. He is only fighting to retain his privileged position as a war veteran to have the veto on who rules the country. That is what he's fighting for. But what we are saying to him and others is that that is not what we should be fighting for. That is at the heart of our problem. We are not going to have this cycle where every generation has got to fight for their rights and their freedoms, because the generation before it will claim that they are the new oppressors. They are the first-class citizens, and they have got the right to the lion's share of the nation's wealth. That is what is wrong with Zimbabwe. We failed to transcend, to get over that selfish greed, the temptation to turn the gun onto our own people and become the new oppressors. Robert Mugabe and his colleagues did a wonderful job in brainwashing the war veterans into believing the war was to create a one-party state in which ZANU-PF and ZANU-PF only have the divine right to rule. The right, the mandate to govern Zimbabwe must come from the people of Zimbabwe in a free, fair, and credible election process. That is the solution to the problem. Swapping Mnangagwa for Chiwenga is kicking the can down the road. After 45 years of rigged election with the country up to its eyeballs, millions of our people living in abject poverty, we cannot keep on kicking the can down the road. Let's solve it. We know what the problem is. We know what the solution is. Your idea of kicking down the can down the road is not the solution. Thank you very much. Have a good day.